What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sehgal show, where we interview some unstoppable entrepreneurs who are dominating figures in their businesses. Sahil here, back again with an awesome, insane episode. Our today's guest is someone who is known as celebrity funnel builder. He's a funnel designer, copywriter, and sales funnel consultant. He has built 500 plus sales funnel in all the niches and industries and sizes from startups to 7, 8, or 9 figure companies. Like he has worked with clients like Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, Clickfunnels, Robert Kiyosaki, Steve Larsen, and many more. He has mastered the art of online sales funnels. Without any further ado, let's welcome Gusten Sun to our show today. What's up, everyone? This is Sahil here, and welcome to the Sehgal show, where I'm gonna be interviewing some crazy entrepreneurs out there who started from scratch with no experience, resources, and connections, and then later on became unstoppable and dominating figures in their respective businesses. We're gonna dive deep into the mindset of these super successful entrepreneurs to find out how they did it and how you can model it too. It's time to pick their brains and uncover all the strategies and tactics which these entrepreneurs use to scale their businesses from nowhere to multiple 6, 7, and 8 figures. Welcome to the Sehgal show. Welcome, Gusten.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely, same here. It's a pleasure and honor to have you.
Yeah, for sure. We connected a while ago, so it's good to be here and talk business.
Absolutely,
we go way
man.
back.
Yeah, we got connected. I started in 2020, and that was the time when I came to know about your course, and I jumped into that course. I remember it was a Black Friday offer that was running,
Okay.
and that was, I think, first version of your that funnel, freedom funnels, right?
Yeah, full-time funnel designer, and now is the third version. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
you've
gonna be
been here from
talking
the
about that.
beginning, man. And it's crazy.
Absolutely.
Let me just say this before we jump in. It's been crazy to see your growth, not just as a business owner, but as a person as well. Because I follow you, I see your content, I see the ups and downs, and you sharing and documenting your journey. So I see the growth, man, and it makes me pumped. And just seeing the intro and everyone you've interviewed on the show, I'm like, man, this guy really went all in. So well
Appreciate you,
done.
man, for that. Appreciate this again. I want to know, Guston, like who people knows you as a funnel builder, funnel designer, and you have literally worked with crazy names out there. But I want to know what was Guston doing before starting this funnel designing?
Yeah. So I actually started it by accident. I never planned on being a funnel builder. I always wanted to be a business owner, to have that time, location, and financial freedom. And so I started with a MLM, and then I wanted to do that online, and people said, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, well, everyone else is going online. Why can't I do that? And they're like, nah, we got to follow the rules. It's been working for 20 years. And I'm like, I'm not having it. So I quit that. And then I went online and I looked at where as you start a business, you got to look at the marketplace, like where's the biggest need, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went there and I looked at what people needed. And at the time it was social media marketing. So we started creating content, and I started working with them to increase their brand awareness, which, yes, that's good, but it doesn't really help with direct response, as we call it, direct impact in terms of revenue and lead generation and everything. So it was hard to track. I didn't know all the tools and the things that we have today. So it was a little bit frustrating not knowing how to exactly impact their business even more. And so that's when I saw an ad from Russell Brunson. And this is obviously the long story short, but I saw a book from Russell Brunson. It was either .com Secrets or the first version of Expert Secrets. And it solved all those problems, because you literally, you can convert in any business. You can just set up a sales funnel and convert them into leads. You can have an application funnel to book calls and qualify them, or you can have order form funnels where you collect payments more passively. And so when I saw that, I knew that was the future, right? But then it wasn't just as someone from Finland, a small town, it wasn't just as easy to find clients. So I had to use leverage and get into the right group, in the right rooms and groups of people, to work with some of the people who I could then serve really well. And if they were happy with me, I knew I could, work with other people that they knew. And so I never focused on marketing too much or hype or any of that. I just focused on the one client at a time And then from there, I know that when you help someone and they have friends in big, groups
Yeah.
and inner circles and stuff like that, that's actually like how I got into the Clickfunnels world, and Russell Brunson's inner circle is from that one person I worked with, and then the rest is history.
That's awesome, man. Crazy journey. And I'm curious to know, like, if now today we have to know anything about designing or funnels or strategy, we go to YouTube and first video is always from you. That's what I have seen. Gusten Sun videos
Well, I'm
always at the
happy to
top.
hear that. That was
That's
always the
cool.
plan. It's
Yes.
crazy because most people start on YouTube, they try a few videos, and then if it works, great. If it doesn't work, they quit and they go
Yeah.
into something that's quicker cash. But I look at YouTube videos as like not mini webinars, because the structure isn't to just sell. It's also to provide 99% of value. And then when you have, like now I have 200 videos on YouTube, and the content compounds. So now I
Yeah.
have 200 mini salesperson people on the team, but it's YouTube videos that both builds my audience and it compounds over time. So I get more subscribers. And even though we only have 7,000 subscribers, it's still like it still generates a lot of revenue for digital products, templates, all my offers, even the funnel agency. And so I always get inquiries from YouTube for all types of offers on Instagram, Facebook, and emails. And now it's more brand sponsorships as well. So yeah, that's how I've always looked at YouTube. But the plan was always to master it, not rank for one video. Like I don't want to play 50% in and just try it out. I want to rank for every single thing, and not just ClickFunnels either. I want to rank for everything around funnels.
Yeah.
So now we're thinking bigger, not just like we're more platform independent now. So it's more about using tools to build businesses and build business that you love and that you're proud of, that serve you and helps you build a life that you and family can enjoy. You and your family can enjoy. You can not just travel, but just overall live a good life no matter where you live.
Yeah, that's so right. Yeah. At that time when you started, but like nowadays we have so many resources and all. How were
Yeah.
you managing it? I'm trying to imagine that. What was your
Bro,
situation when you needed any help at that time?
yeah, I told my CEO, I recently hired a director of operations. I said, it's crazy because I'm paying 10,000 a month for my video team. And most people, when they ask like, hey, who's your editors? Can I find someone similar? And they hear one editor costs like 3,000 or 2,000. They're like, nah, it's too much. It's like, okay, if you look at it as a cost, then maybe it is. But I look at it as an investment. It's the like my brain power mostly goes into creating content and building great products. So whether that's a course or funnel agency, now I hire people and build systems. But it's having that long-term mindset of it's not a cost, it's an investment into the brand. And so as long as we're making, it's like, you know how Russell Brunson talks about breaking even
Yeah.
on the ad spend? You can think of it the same way for YouTube. If you make the money back from the video team, even if it's expensive, like it's the same thing. So now you can look at lead generation with VAs and appointment setting the same way. You
Yeah.
can say, okay, I'm paying for book calls and close deals, and it's performance based. And as long as we're making the same or more, obviously you prefer if it's more and you have profits in there. But when you do this, you build business within business and departments that all generate leads and revenue for you. So now you become the leader, the CEO that builds these departments, and it's all paid advertisement because it's growth.
Yeah. 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 That's so right. And a lot of people don't understand this thing. I'm glad you mentioned this thing. Like, look at always ROI as well. What you are doing is going to give you return if you stick to the plan.
Yeah, I always think if I do everything myself, I can only work so many hours.
Yes.
But if I pay people, then we can do 10 times more output. And sometimes, like even in the beginning, when you hire a ton of people, if they're expensive, like the profit margins can stay the same. Let's say you make 20,000 per month alone, and then you make 60,000 a month with 10 employees. Like the profit margins can be the same, but now you have a team who can handle 120K per month. So now you can scale without you still being like, if you're alone, then you work and you take the stress yourself to deliver on everything that you're selling, versus if you have a team and it's more balanced and systemized and process in place. So I think
Absolutely.
bigger now. I think different.
That's the right way, actually. What I have seen some funnel designers or builders, like they struggle in the initial time. They max cap out at maybe $10,000 by themselves alone, and
Yeah.
then they don't look at this concept of like growing and leveraging the other people's talent or skills, building up a team, and then they keep struggling, they keep having that burnout moment.
Yeah, and I think also people who come from humble beginnings, as soon as they make money, they want to keep it. So that's
Yeah.
probably why they don't want to hire people. But yeah, man, like that's that's operating from a scarcity mindset, not abundance. And you can also structure in a way where it's performance based. So you only pay, if you close a deal for 5,000 for a funnel build, you can have it as a structure where you pay 1,500 to the copywriter, 1,500 to the designer, 500 to the tech person, and you keep, the rest. And so you can structure your per percentage or, as a part of the pie, and then you keep the profits and you focus on selling. So
Absolutely right. And you have built like funnels for, I've seen when I started in 2020, I was seeing you were building funnels for other entrepreneurs as well, some small or big entrepreneurs, and then you landed all these crazy names out there. So how did you land those clients? And what was the
yeah,
experience you have felt, like any differences that you have felt between those people?
not really. If anything, it almost becomes easier when you work with bigger clients because they have a team as well. So, like for example, when I worked with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, and same thing with Clickfunnels and Russell Brunson, which I still work with them. They have copywriters, for an example, very well paid, highly educated, skilled copywriters. And then they have systems people, they have paid media teams, they have all these things and resources. So you learn by being a part of the team. And so your job is still the same, to build the funnel, right? And to design the graphics and put it all together and all the stuff. And then the tech parts are easy. You can find the technical stuff you can find on YouTube. It's more of the principles for conversions, things like that you have to learn. But because you have a team around you, like, it's almost easier to work with big clients. But how I landed them was, I mentioned it briefly in the beginning, how I thought about leverage first. And I'm like, I just have to get that one breakthrough client, and then everything becomes easier. Because again, I'm going to focus on quality and delivering for that one client. And so I don't know if you probably know him, Akbar Sheikh.
Oh yeah.
So he was one of the first. I remember when he needed a funnel builder, and there was 3 people who wanted to work with him, and he said, let's make a competition. So whoever can build the best one, I'll pick. And it was a free, and most people aren't willing to do the first one for free. But the first one was free for him. And I had a few other smaller clients before that, but for him, that was the first like big client in Russell Brunson's inner circle. So I'm like, okay, I want to over provide. I think I might have stayed up all night to finish it. I used to do like all-nighters back in the day. I don't do that anymore. I'm a biohacker now, so focus on health first. But no, he liked the design. He liked the funnel build. And so he hired me. He paid me for the next one. And then from the inner circle, more and more people started reaching out. And I still remember he used to take commissions for, sort of connecting people. And he was like, no, I like what you're doing. Like, I don't need a commission. So he just sent more people to me. And then I remember the day when Russell Brunson messaged me, because everything is strategic, bro. Like, when I make content, look at my posts today, everything is strategic. So back in the day when I used to make posts, it was in the Clickfunnels group, my own profile, which people in my profile, my friends list, as you know, you can have 5,000 Facebook friends. So a lot of those were from the same group. And so now even Russell Brunson, we're Facebook friends. And so when I post content, he would obviously see it. And then sometimes I would structure it in a way so people would tag him. Like, oh, Russell, you have to see this. And so one day he reached out. He's like, hey, we need the first one was a template for Funnel Fridays. They used to, him and Jim Edwards, they used to do these Funnel Fridays. And so he wanted templates. And I remember, bro, this brings back memories because we lived in another house and everything. And I attended one of the Funnel Fridays. I had my laptop and I showed my wife, like, okay, now they're going live. They're doing the Funnel Fridays. And now he's going to pick one, because they always pick one of the templates and they build one. And I remember when he picked mine, I'm like, yes, because I'm super competitive. But after that, he liked that one. And then he just kept asking for more designs. And then I got more involved on more of like a consulting level, because obviously I built a lot of funnels. So they valued my feedback in terms of features, editor stuff, and stuff like that. So now we're working on bigger projects. And I'm actually talking to Russell now in Voxer on other things, but that's how I started. And then I remember another thing, Russell one time messaged me, I don't remember if it was Instagram or Facebook, but he's like, hey, I'm on a private jet with Dean Graziosi and we're talking about you. That was the message. I was like,
Wow.
okay, I mean, that's awesome, but it doesn't tell me anything about what you're talking about. So when you get in those rooms and you, I don't know, you stand out in a way, you just got to keep focusing on building the next funnel, the next project. And this goes for anything. You have a video, like short form video editing agency, is the same thing. Lead generation, sales, and then delivering a really good product, and then hiring the right people to deliver on that and having the systems in place to deliver it. And most people forget that part. It's the same in the course industry, as you probably know. Most people think of the course as secondary, right? Marketing and launching and everything first, and then product development secondary. But when you switch it around, your community will do the marketing for you, right? So
Yeah. Yeah,
that's how I like to
absolutely.
do it.
That's what I'm doing even. In last week I made 2 sales of your course as well. I don't know if you
Yeah, yeah,
saw
yeah.
that or not. Yeah,
Referrals.
I was
Yep.
waking up and was seeing my appointment setter was talking to them and I was like, okay, 2 sales and that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Passive
still
income,
proudly
bro.
promote that. The product is really awesome, man. I still sometimes go through that modules. I know you keep on updating. We're gonna be talking
Yeah, I
about that.
always update it, bro.
Yeah, no, I love it, really
You gotta
love that.
keep it
But
fresh.
yep, yep. And I saw that testimonial even of Akbar Sheikh on your funnel. I remember, I think that was the point I came to know about you, if I remember it correctly, because I was
Mm.
looking for my first coach at that time, and Akbar Sheikh
Yeah,
was the one of the suggestion I got. And then I keep on researching, and I saw your on that.
that's awesome.
Yeah, in terms of content, Justin, I want to talk about like these days. Obviously, the with the time, the content is changing with the approach is changing for all the designers. How do you say like a funnel designer can stand out in terms of content these days in 2023?
Yeah, yeah. This is actually a really great question, and people ask me this all the time. People in the community and everything. And I don't know. Most people probably think that you stand out with like a unique design or branding, especially because we're funnel builders. But the way I look at the industry is like, number one is if you speak about funnel builds that you're doing, or if you speak in terms of theory. So now with AI, for an example, a lot of people are going to talk about how to.
Yeah,
You look at video tutorials on softwares on YouTube, it's like how to use this. But if you switch into a story, it's like, here's a funnel that came, a client that came to us, here's the funnel that we built, here's one of the things they wanted different, and here's the end result. That story is way better than three things you have, like a robotic, three things you have to have in
yeah,
place in order to get conversions. And people try to copy what I did a few years ago, and it doesn't work because it's not genuine. You got to look at where you're at in the journey, then work for free for the first one, document and share about that unique client that you work with. Or even if it's a concept funnel, you literally you create a brand from nothing and you build a funnel for it, and then you explain your thought process. And if you don't understand that, then go back to the course or to YouTube or to learn more. It's okay to not be perfect and this huge expert in the beginning, but you have to focus on specifics behind the scenes, because if someone is an existing business owner and they're really good at what they do, they will smell bullshit. I don't know if I can say that on
yeah.
the podcast,
It's
but
okay.
they can smell it. Yeah. So people try to just focus on like all the value bombs without anything. There's no depth to it. There's no contrast,
No
context to the
uniqueness as well, I
content.
would say.
Yeah. 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 So it's the same, like I said on YouTube, maybe this is a golden nugget for you. If you're creating a video about a specific software, instead of saying, here's how to use it, you can literally record a video over a week period of time, and then you say, here's how I made money with it. Here's how I'm building my business with it. By the way, we have someone coming to the office to fix something, but we'll keep talking. We'll talk about
No worries.
business. I have a friend of mine who's here, so no problem.
Got you. That makes so much sense. And with the glad you mentioned about AI and all that stuff, and I'm getting messages and I'm hearing from people as well. They're literally scared of losing work and businesses. People are talking like this chat GPT came into the play and
Yeah.
all the freelancers, copywriters, and I was like, we're gonna lose the business. Everything is gonna go to that. That
Yeah.
software is so smart and all. So how freelancers can put some armor or shield around them to protect them from this?
Well, instead of competing against it, why don't you use it as a weapon, right? So like, even for your team members, instead of training them from zero, train them how they can use the tool to weaponize them, not just in terms of quality, but also in speed. Because now, let's say I have a friend who has a content writing business, and we're actually partnering to scale that up as well. But instead of saying, oh, we're going to compete with AI, instead we're going to use our expertise and our experience with AI, and now we're going to be different than everyone else because we know what inputs to put in there, the prompts, and not just rely on the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, give me 10 headlines about, sales funnels. Like I could type in, and I've done all the research and used it to see, okay, what are the things that AI says to focus on in terms of conversion rate optimization. But then again, if you make content about that, sure, it's helpful. But what if you have 2 examples that you tested, and then you say, here's what the AI said, and here's what we added from our own experience, and here's the results that we got from it, and here's the money that we made. Way different.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's so smart. That's beautiful, actually. That's how you can go with that instead of going against with. You just go
Yeah.
along with that, and that's how you build it. Amazing, man. That's cool, super cool. And what's the one tool that you carry as a funnel designer that's in your toolbox always? I'm curious to know that
Everything is built
personally.
on Figma now. So when I mentioned that I'm more platform independent, I used to be like everything is Clickfunnels, and obviously I still love the people at Clickfunnels, but I'm a business consultant in terms of marketing and funnel conversions and funnel strategy and everything. So my team can handle anything now. I have 10 people. I used to do like a few months ago, ask my friends, a few months ago I did everything myself. Now I got 10 people. So now if someone comes to us, they want to grow the business, I just take the inputs and the data sets, as we call it, the experience I have, and I tell my team, here's the strategy, here's the examples. And when you have a team, all they really need is like AI, you need the right prompts. So I just need to do the research, create the draft of a project, and say, here's 5 examples for this, here's an outline for this, here's the input form, the onboarding form from the client, and all these different things, and they can produce amazing results because I gave them the right inputs.
Got you. Makes sense. I have a one selfish question as well, Guston, to ask you.
Yeah,
Because
go
this
for it.
question I got asked by my coaching clients a lot of time. They ask me like,
Okay.
what are the different ways a funnel builder or fund designer can have reoccurring income as a designer? How would you
Okay,
answer
so
it?
2 things: conversion rate optimization. Well, 3: conversion rate optimization, paid media, or emails. Right. So paid media is obviously if you also sell ads. Instead of learning it, you want to sell it and partner with someone. So that's when you switch into a team. Conversion rate optimization, you can easily learn, right? So you use tools to track and test headlines, and you do a few of these, but you got to work with existing business owners who actually send traffic, because if you work with beginners, then CRO is not really going to improve much when they send 50 people in a month to the page. They focus on the wrong thing instead of increasing traffic. And then one thing that we're adding to my agency, I'm going to scale it to 100K per month. So what we're adding is content on the back end. So we build an ecosystem. Now we have the umbrella funnel, which is like the website for everything. And then we have specific funnels for each offer. And on the back end, we're going to either sell 2 packages, daily emails, or 3 per week. So we're going to send out emails. And so we're using AI to do research, but then we're using the person's epiphanies, story bank, which is all the lessons and everything,
Yeah.
to create real, like brand specific content for emails. And then I guess if you wanted to, you could also sell. I have another team, another person. Again, I'm telling you, I'm building businesses within businesses. So another person who's running a video short form agency, and I'm helping him build the systems and scale that up. So now, Josh 40, right? And I'm
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
he allows me to share this, but he just hired us to do short form videos as well. So that's recurring revenue, right? So now I have
Cool.
again, and I'm just being the personal brand that focus on building the community, and then I find connections and partnerships where we can offer recurring revenue on the back end. But it doesn't have to be paid media. Oh, you gotta sell ads to get recurring revenue. Like I just gave you 4 other options.
Yeah, that's smart thinking. So just find the gaps in the market and see who
Yeah.
you can
Another
offer
one
it to
is
the right people.
podcasting, right?
Yeah.
Like ongoing
Mm.
podcast editing. So
Yeah. Exactly.
5.
That's amazing. Love it,
Another one
man.
is PR. You can sell PR packages to them, right? So now it's 6.
Cool. It's gonna keep popping more.
Yeah.
Love it, man. So what's new in the full-time funnel freedom 3.0 that people can expect from this
Yeah.
program?
So As I mentioned, I'm thinking different and bigger now. So what's new in there is a lot of systems and monetization revenue streams. So instead of just selling, for example, let's say I work with software businesses. Instead of just building the website and sales funnels for demos or trials for the software company, obviously that's the done for you side. But I would also build my personal brand to be a go-to in the SaaS industry, so I could then sell templates for SaaS companies, emails that are working really well. So now create a vault and sell those digital low ticket products. I can even create a marketplace to build all these things and set them up and sell passively low ticket templates for SaaS. I would go on interviews in the SaaS industry. I could have a book in the future around SaaS growth. And then people who don't want to pay you for done for you services, they want that consulting / course structure instead, where they pay less and they want to learn it maybe for the internal team. Like some people buy the course I have to give to their team as well, because they have an in-house team and they just want those people to learn. So I focus on the bigger picture, but also the nuance, the details of how to implement it, the tech. But all the tech is usually, with platforms changing all the time, you can find that on YouTube. So I'm focusing on how to actually generate the clients and build the systems and the managing all of it, including health. Like the last Q&A call we had, I focused a lot on the health stuff, the changes that I'm doing, and I'm seeing a big difference already in terms of how I operate and think and communicate and everything.
Love it, love it. And in the initial stages or beginning, it's I thought or even what I have seen in my journey, it's like more of the hustle that you still have to go through it. Everyone.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
Well, I wouldn't change anything, right? Like I love that period of my life because nobody will ever know the amount of late nights and even all-nighters. But what people don't see is the after effects of spending 26 hours working and then feeling like crap for 3 days and recovering from it and not operating from your, to your fullest. And it's the same thing with people who think, oh, I'm going to party the weekend, but then they don't know that they're hangover and they're underperforming for a few more days after that. So, sorry, what was the question again?
So I was saying when everyone starts in the journey and they have to hustle.
Oh yeah, the hustle.
Yeah.
So I don't regret any of it, because without that and always just figuring things out, I wouldn't have the skill set to now lead a team, because when they need support, I know I can pull this and you need this or find this. And I'm very resourceful as a person because I train myself to be. But now imagine with that hunger and that drive and that, mindset and 10 people on your team.
Yeah.
Right. Like you move at a speed that you can't do alone, especially like I have 2 kids. So to be there for my family as well, while my team is working, right? And then when they're sleeping, I'm working to prepare stuff for them and support them. And I give them instructions and I help them and I go in and change and tweak. And it's way more fun. Like I used to identify as introvert, so I can't do meetings. I can't do interviews like this because I got to be in their building. But like I said, I'm thinking way different now. I went to a mastermind a few weeks ago. I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, but
I did.
I get into the room and there's like 40 people in there. Yeah. Right? They're 22 years old. They're 26, 32. And everyone thinks like us. Similarly, obviously they have different perspective because we come from different places and have different experiences. But I'm like, why are they like 300,000 a month, $1 million a month? And one of them got an offer for 10 million for his business. So I'm like, and one of them actually sold his business. I heard this from Luke Belmar. He sold his business for 50 mil. So I'm like, what's different if we both have the right mindset, but they're at a different level? Because, as they say, there's levels to this. And I realized that everyone for the entire week focused on masterminding, learning, leveling up. And then maybe some of them worked a few minutes here and there to support their team. But everyone had like 50 employees, 100. The 22-year-old had 100 people on his team. I'm like,
crazy.
It's a different way of operating, and you're no longer just a freelancer. You're a business owner, right? And you think different, you operate way different. And that was the biggest gift from 2022. It's actually my friend who's here. shout out to Jonathan. He's like, he kept pushing me like, hey, we have to be there because we gotta level up. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know. You think, the business
Yeah.
is doing okay. Like, why should I go? I have a family. I have these things. Like, why don't I just stay? But then you get there, you're like, this is why we went. This is what I needed to see. It's the same when you coach someone, they get their first result. Now they see. Now they
Yeah.
create belief patterns, and their entire universe is different.
Yeah, they always believe like it's if they can crack the first deal, they obviously can crack
Yeah, you just
multiple now.
multiply it. You duplicate it. It's like a funnel template. You just duplicate it. You clone it. You do it again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that I saw one of your posts you posted about that you were happy making this much amount of money because you're not doing a lot of sales call like crazy. Other
Yeah,
people
that
are doing.
was
I
like
really
a few
love that
months
post.
ago.
I
Yeah,
remember.
that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. I
So
was
many
gonna.
things changed in just a few months.
Yeah.
Again, mind shift. Blind
Nice.
spots. Sometimes you have blind spots you don't even know about.
You just need, I think, an extra mind who can push you. Sometimes alone you don't see the big pictures. That's why
Yeah.
these events are.
And maybe you agree with this, but sometimes you go in seasons, right? So maybe that was a part
Yeah.
of me that was like, I'm not gonna have a ton of meetings. I really focused a lot on my family as well,
Yeah.
right? But there was something missing, and it was probably the fear of letting go the control to do everything and taking on a lot of monthly expenses. Like my monthly expenses are now 20,000-30,000 a month, when that used to be my sales per month. So you gotta
Yeah.
shift, and you gotta get outside your comfort zone to do that.
No, I was impressed with that thing. Like the way you crafted it, I was like, that's beautiful. Like he's
Yeah.
giving time to his family as well, and he's happy making all that. Like,
Yeah, a lot of people were like, "Oh man, I need that kind of business." But now, if they message me, I'm gonna be like, "Nah, stop thinking. That's selfish to just think about what your family needs.
yeah,
What about your extended family? What about other people that you can help?"
it's always about progressions, as you said, levels. You go from
Yeah,
one level to
levels to
another.
this, man.
Amazing, man. Any biggest or one advice that you want to give to our funnel builder buddies out there
To funnel builders specifically, or entrepreneurs,
or entrepreneurs?
is probably what I recently learned, which is two things. I know you said one, but without health, you have nothing, right? Like everything crumbles, and then you just want that back. So you gotta focus on that first. So cut out all the sugar and things like that that's messing with your mind and your sleep, and it's literally poison. And then now that you can think clear, now you can balance things that used to be stressful. So if you used to think, oh, I have 3 team members, now I have meetings and content and delivery and coaching calls, like all these things, right? But that's you just need one simple perspective to look at someone else who's struggling and really having, a bad situation. You're like, man, I'm like, this is actually really good what I have. So why were I even stressing about this? And so now, because you have your health in check, your mind is free to think clearly, and you see things from a different perspective, right?
True.
And so what I would then do is exactly what I'm doing now, which is to not just focus on the quick buck, but to build something that's bigger than myself, to build it with people that align with the vision. And then I would focus on building sustainable systems. And everyone talks about system. A system can be a lot of different things. It can be, oh, here's the SOP for how we do lead gen. I put a VA to do it. That's a system. Another one would say, here's my calendar for the week. I know exactly what to focus on. That's my system for being productive. But when you think in terms of processes, and literally, if you had to outsource everything, how would you think and operate? You would break everything down into mini tasks and find specialists for each of them. And then what do you need to focus on the most? Probably working on sustaining and developing those people on the team. So me, for example, I like to focus on sales calls still, because it doesn't feel like sales calls. It's regular conversations to see how I can help. But eventually, if we scale fast, then probably I want to outsource that as well, to focus on product development and quality. But it's just thinking bigger. And that all starts with knowing that it's possible and believing that you're worth it. Once those two things click, and you have your health in check, then you can just focus on scaling. Because it's almost like a game. It's almost like a chessboard. And you got to pick your players. If you play FIFA, you got to have the good players. Ronaldo, you bench Messi, and then you win.
Amazing, man. That's a great perspective. I really love it. Awesome, man. Thank you so much, Gusten, for coming on, sharing
Of
this
course.
great, insightful, and your
My
wisdom.
pleasure.
Yeah, thank you once again. And people who were watching us live, I hope you guys got some values out of it. We'll be coming up with another episode very soon. Till then, stay tuned. Take care. Bye, everyone.